like that.
My name is Andy Hornby, photographer and vlogger.
17 years ago I started teaching myself photography.
Today, I travel the UK as a professional wedding photographer, landscape photographer and filmmaker. Learn from my experiences, my mistakes and my tips and advice.
Okay, welcome to another video. I'm down on the seafront, it's a bit windy, I'm sorry if it affects the audio. I thought I'd come down, I love coming down to the beach, I live just round the corner. And you've got the coffee cup over my shoulder there. And there's something going on down the beach today, there's a lot of people in the sea with wetsuits on, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you today about time-lapse. If you watched my last video, well done if you watched all of it, but if you watched my last video, you'll know that I was doing a day-to-night time-lapse, the holy grail of time-lapses, which is considered to be quite difficult, and it is difficult, which is why that video is really long, because I had to explain a lot of things. But this video is going to be really simple, really quick. I'm going to be talking about how to get the best out of your time lapse. I get asked a lot of questions about how time lapses look different in the way I do it compared to the way some of you boys and girls are doing your time lapses, and it's generally to do with the shutter speed that you're at. To be fair, to get the best out of your time lapse, shutter speed needs to be thought about before you do your time lapse. So I'm going to give you a couple of hard and fast rules, if you like. I've done some time lapses earlier on today. I wanted to do it sort of at rush hour, because in a time lapse you need to have some kind of movement in your image. Yeah, so earlier today I went up to the M27. There's a little flyover, if you like, that's quite quiet in terms of footfall and cars. So I decided to get some footage from up there and some really good time lapses of the cars on the M27, because it was rush hour. It made sense, there's a lot of movement. Like I say, there's no point in doing time lapses in places where there's no movement. It doesn't make any sense. So first of all, in time lapse you need to have some kind of movement in your image. There's no point in taking a time lapse of something that doesn't have any movement, because it just won't make any sense. You might as well just do a still image and that's it. You need movement. Now generally in my time lapses, my movement comes from things like the clouds, the sky. There's no sky today really, it's a really nice day. Or maybe the sea. I sometimes use the sun coming up or going down, you know, sunsets and sunrises, or even the moon I've used in a time lapse not so long ago at Christmas. So you have to have some kind of movement. There's absolutely no point in doing a time lapse if you don't have any movement whatsoever. How do you really make the most of your settings with your time lapses? There's two schools of thought on this, because you can actually do a really good time lapse with video. Funnily enough, you can take a video section, speed it up, and it looks quite good. But the problem with using video, the shutter speed of your video has to be double the frame rate of your end product. You will be shooting at somewhere around 1/50th of a second for video. You have to, otherwise your video doesn't work too well. If it's too slow shutter speed, I'm talking, you can hear me but you can't see my mouth move because it's all blurry. Or if it's too fast, I look really big, like that, but it looks like I'm talking faster than I am talking, if that makes sense. So you have to use that hard and fast rule of having a double your frame rate shutter speed. So for any video you see that I've done, my shutter speed is always around 1/50th of a second. That's it. And then you have to work out all the other bits and pieces around that. You have to get your exposure around your shutter speed. So if I shot a video for about 2 minutes and played it back faster, like this is what you're going to get. Now if you look at this, as a 12-second clip, it's very bitty, very jumpy. You go from, you know, each picture goes into the next, and there's no real fluid movement between the images, because video is still images. It's 24 images every second. So what can you do? You can actually slow down your shutter speed in video. So here is a video of the same location where I've slowed the shutter speed down to 1 second and shot 2 minutes again, speeded up into a 12-second clip. And you can see that actually it looks a lot more smooth, you know, it looks smoother. That's a really good way of doing it if you've only got video to use, but there's a better way, trust me. If you have a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, or any camera in fact, that shoots raw, really big files, you can get it even better. So this is my task for you boys and girls. Don't do time lapses as videos, actually do them as pictures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 lots of pictures, one at a really fast shutter speed to show you the difference, and one at a shutter speed of 1.6 seconds every image for over 300 images, and squash that down to a 12-second segment. And the first one here is of the really fast shutter speed. Again, you see each picture goes into the next picture really bitty. But if I slow that shutter speed down to about somewhere between 1 second and 2 seconds, so this is all shot of 1.6 seconds, 300 images at 1.6 seconds combined together to make a 12-second clip. This is what you get, and you can see how much smoother the action is from one image into the next image. You get a nice flow, and that's the essence of time lapse. So the best time lapses come from having a shutter speed of around 1 second to 2 seconds, and that's it. There are a couple of advantages over using images rather than video, and the first one is you can shoot for a lot longer. Now, you saw from my last video I actually shot for 2.5 hours, but I only got 600 images. So I shot every 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds. So you can shoot for a lot longer and still squeeze that, you know, a lot longer time, still right down to, you know, 24 seconds I got out of those 600 images, and it looked amazing. I could go from day to night in only 24 seconds. You know, with video you can't really do that. With video you can shoot for, you know, 4 or 5 minutes if you like, squeeze that down to you know, 20-30 seconds, but you can't really shoot for much longer than a couple of minutes. Otherwise you get, like, if you've got an hour's worth of video, it's going to take up your card on your camera. You're not going to probably get an hour's worth of video in any case. But even if you did, and you squash that down to only a few seconds, it's just gonna all blur into one. It's not gonna make any sense. It doesn't make for a good time lapse. But with pictures, you can shoot for an entire day. You can see sometimes where was I saw online? I saw a time lapse of a ship out in the ocean. It was a year time lapse down to about a minute. So it'd taken like an image every day, and then squished all those images down into a 1 minute video, and it looked awesome, absolutely amazing. But it's still only a 1 minute video, but it's done over a year. How brilliant is that? You can't do that with video. You can't take a year's worth of video and squish it down to a minute. It doesn't work. So the next good thing about using pictures instead of video when you do time lapses is the amount of manipulation you can do. I can take these pictures into Lightroom and really work on them like I would a normal landscape photo. If you see any of my time lapses that I do, they're all done from pictures that I've taken into Lightroom, and I've edited them like I would a normal sort of landscape shot to make it really pop, and then sync that across all the images, and they all look fantastic, and then put them into a video. Bang on. You can do a lot of color grading with video, potentially, but can you take it as far as you can with images? No, I certainly can't. I'm not that good with video. Pictures I can really work with. Video is really difficult. Color grading, I've got the software that can do it. It's just really difficult, and not something I'm personally any good at anyway. The other good thing about using pictures is the pictures are generally, the file sizes of the pictures are generally larger in actual physical size than the video. So when you do a video, let's say 4K, actually when I take a picture, the picture's more like 6 or 8K in physical size. So when I take that and put it into a 4K video, which is what you have to output it at, you can start looking at zooming in and zooming out from these videos, and when you do that you don't lose any detail. If I take a 4K video and start zooming in and then output it at 4K, that zoomed in video starts to lose detail. You can't do anything about that. So when I used to do it before, and I used to output at 1080p, I could zoom right in from a 4K video, zoom in and zoom out without losing detail. I can't do that with a 4K video outputting out 4K, because as soon as I start zooming in with the video, it's going to start losing detail and get pixelated and stuff, and I don't want to do that. But with these pictures, the physical size of these pictures, especially if uncompressed, they're huge. So I can take them, put them into a video software. I use Final Cut Pro is what I use, and I can make them into like a compound clip, and I can zoom in and zoom out and do all kinds of stuff. And people always ask me, how do you manage to get the zoom in effect? It's because I shoot on these very large file sizes, and I'm able to zoom in and not lose any detail. and that makes it for me. I think that's the good thing about this. There's only one drawback, and it is a massive drawback with doing time lapses with pictures, is the amount of time it takes to edit. Like I said, I edit every single image, so although I only edit the first one and sync it across, I would have had to have imported all those images and then export all those images. And don't forget, I'm exporting them at the largest file size I can, so I don't resize down. They're uncompressed, they're massive. Sometimes just the import and export into Lightroom and back out of Lightroom can take me an hour. 600 images can take a long time, and that's on a pretty fast machine. Then of course I have to import them into my video software, put them all together, and then export the video. You know, it does take a long time. If I've just got a little video clip that I've taken for 2 minutes like I did earlier, put that in and then just make it faster down to a 12-second clip, it takes seconds, literally seconds. So there is a drawback. It's just how you want to have your video look. But one thing I'm going to do, and stick around on this video, because later on tonight I'm actually going to go back up to the same place you saw these videos taken. I'm going to use the same principles as as I did earlier with the good time lapses that I showed you, and I'm actually going to do the reason why I've done it earlier is because it was rush hour. We had a lot of cars. It made sense. There's a lot of movement. But I'm actually going to go back up there when it starts to get dark and the lights come on in the cars, because we're going to start getting light trails. And somewhere between a second and 2 seconds, those light trails are going to look awesome in a time lapse. Trust me. Take this on. Look at maybe getting some video. If you have a camera that can do video and you can change the shutter speed, down to about a second, and yeah, get some time lapse work going. But if you can, do it in pictures. So you've got the easy way of doing it, and now I've shown you the best way of doing it. The best way is in pictures, so it should be good. So thanks for watching. Stick around. I'm going to go back up there later. I'm just going to go have some dinner, and I'm going to go back up to exactly the same place, set up, and I'm going to do another time lapse, hopefully around the 1.6 seconds again. So you're about to see how that came out. So yeah, let's do this. I'll see you up there. Bye. Okay, I've got an apology to make. Earlier on in my video I mentioned that when I did the video time lapses they were at a shutter speed of a second. They weren't, unfortunately. I didn't realise, but the max length of shutter speed I could use was 1/4 of a second. So the videos earlier on and the video I just did now, the shutter speed is at 1/4 of a second. When you do, or if you do a video time lapse, that's what you're gonna have to look for. Use that as the beginning of your exposure, if you like. But trust me, if you get into it, please have a go at doing it as images, because with images, as I spoke about earlier, it's gonna be a lot better. You're gonna get a lot more leniency when it comes to editing. Okay, it takes a long time to edit them, but the output video of a time lapse done with pictures is amazing. Now I should say the video I did this afternoon was on my A6400, and the video I've just done up here, including the pictures I've done up here at night, were with my A7 III, and that's because the file sizes and the uncompressed format of the A7 III is much better than the A6400, so I'm always going to use that on night photography. It just is what it is. If you don't have the A7 III, then you'll have to use whatever you've got. But as you'll see from the video shortly, the output time lapse was actually really good. I'm really pleased with it, even from the back of the camera, just looking through and scrolling through the images. I can tell it's going to be a really good time lapse, both the video and the picture one. So you're going to see that shortly. But before I go, I just want to mention that while I was up there, I have recorded a little bit of extra video, because next week I'm going to be talking about hyperlapse time lapses. Now that's taking things one step further. You're going to learn all this stuff about time lapses, and then you're going to include that into what's called a hyperlapse. And a hyperlapse is basically a moving time lapse. So you're doing your time lapse exactly the same way as what you've done here, but you're going to then move. For every picture that you take, you move with the camera, either forward or like you see in this video next week, sideways. It's very, very effective. It's hard to do with a camera and get it steady, because the idea is you fixate on one point and then move. For every picture you move, but you always fixate on one point. And when you're doing a picture of a roadway or some kind of motorway, that kind of stuff, it's hard to get that spot on it in every picture. So it might be a bit bumpy, I don't know, I haven't edited that yet. Anyway, you're about to see the time lapse from tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please slap a thumbs up. I always appreciate any comments you've got. If you have any questions, please pop them just down below. And yeah, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell all the time so you get updates every time I upload a new video. So yeah, the next couple of videos are going to be really interesting. I hope you will stick around and enjoy those. It really pleases me to make these kind of videos, because getting me out there, getting me back into the thick of getting my landscapes back to where they used to be, and that's just having fun. And these are really fun to film. I've got to tell you, I'm having so much fun doing these videos. So I hope you're enjoying them too. So yeah, until the next one, I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye.
Everything's so magical. All I need is you tonight. If I shut my eyes, keeping them closed, all of the senses explodes. You and me under the sky. Let's stay up all night. Give our hearts a new beginning. When we fell in love, every second, every minute, we were high on life. Didn't waste our time, didn't sleep as much as now. Let's stay up all night.
Still here, nice. It's good that you're still here, because I want to tell you a little something. Those people who are avid followers of me, I want to give a little something back, and to do that it means working alongside you online, because a lot of you can't make it to my workshop. So I've just set up a Patreon account. It is patreon.com/Andy Hornby Photos. So Patreon is a platform where we can create stuff together, even if you're halfway across the globe, and I can learn and teach alongside you, literally alongside you. There's so many things I can do to help you get your photography just to that next level. It is awesome. If you can make it to one of my workshops, I've got a website. Go to ahphotographyworkshops.uk and have a look, see what I've got going on. But if you can't make it to one of my workshops, Patreon is a really good platform where we can create stuff together and we can take your photography to another level. So if you like what I'm doing and you want me to learn alongside yourself, see you there. Take it easy, have a good day. Bye.